Hi, everyone. Welcome to class number 2 for Shabbat and Technology. If you look on Schoology, I posted a second video called Introduction to Electricity. For those of you familiar with electricity, certainly those who are taking engineering, this will be pretty basic, but just to make sure we're all on the same page, that to understand how halacha viewed electricity, you need to have a bit of understanding of how electricity works. And basically in the video, it explains that electricity is simply the flowing of electrons, that when electrons are flowing, they have an energy to them, which gives power and energy to whatever device someone's trying to use. And so when you have an electrical circuit, you basically are flowing electrons from one part of the circuit to the other, going around in a loop. And a loop and a loop and a loop, around and around and around. And the electrical circuit is what it carries the electrons, carries the flowing of electrons. So the entirety of electricity is merely the flowing of electrons through a circuit. Okay. Now, so when it comes to our ability to control that circuit, so when we're turning something on or off, we're simply opening the circuit and closing the circuit. So when the circuit is open, you've broken the path of the electrons. And since the electrons can no longer flow throughout the path, there's no energy being created. The electrons aren't flowing, right? So if I turn this off, now there's no electrons flowing. You can see the light. It's just a standard lamp, okay? So you turn it on. Now the electrons are flowing. And that's all very clearly laid out in the video. So the question halachically was, what is the status of creating a flow of electrons? Right? It's a funny thing to describe because what are you actually doing? You're creating something, but what? You're allowing electrons to flow. So when you allow electrons to flow, are you creating something, or are you simply allowing something to move, right? So for example, let's say a pipe was blocked, so water couldn't flow through it, and you remove the blockage, and now water flows through the pipe. Are you creating something, or are you simply allowing something to flow through, right? So no one would say that you're doing anything halachically wrong by removing, let's say there's a sock, or something in the pipe. So you remove the sock, and now the water can get through. I haven't created anything. I've simply allowed something was blocked, and I allowed it to exist again, allowed it to flow through again. So the question halachically became, what is the status of a flowing of electrons? Like I left off yesterday. Let's say you want to plug in your refrigerator. So now electrons are flowing, which allows the motor to run, which allows the refrigerator to work, right? I want to plug in a fan. By plugging in the fan, I'm allowing now the electrons to flow, and now that powers the fan. So what could be the issue halachically? And this became a major debate. So the major debate really stemmed from between two people. The Chazon Ish lived from 1878 to 1953. He was certainly known for living in Eretz Yisrael, in Bnei Brak. And the Chazon Ish said that this is the malach of bona, of building. That when you close a circuit, if you would turn on a switch, so you turn on the switch, or you plug something in, so now you close the circuit, you allow the circuit to flow. So in that situation, you are creating something. You're creating this flowing of electrons. You're building a circuit. Basically, that's how we described it. You're building a circuit. Before, when the circuit was open, you had nothing, because the electrons couldn't flow. When you close the circuit, now you allow the electrons to flow. You've done the malacha of bona. So according to the Chazon Ish, who was one of the biggest post-given rabbis of the 20th century, just by closing a circuit, you are putting in a battery, right? Any sort of creating of a circuit, you are doing the malacha deraita of bona, of building. That was his opinion. It was a bit of a controversial perspective because that's not usually how we view building something. Typically, we view building something I'm building a house. I'm building a table. I'm nailing something in. I'm sawing something. I'm creating something that you can see, something physical. Electrons are, subatomic. You can't see the electrons flowing. You can only see the result of them. So many people were like, oh, you're not building electrons. You're not building a circuit. That was a very hard thing for people to grapple with. But he was very adamant and said, no, this is a malacha d'oraita, and you are definitely doing something. You're doing the malacha of bona. Okay. Now, he was asked, why not compare it to a door? Okay. So here, watch this demonstration. That door is open in my office. Okay. Now, right now, this door is open. Would you say that this room exists? Yes. When I close the door, have I built something, right? Some opinions, so maybe you say, oh, now you've built the room because I've added to the room before the door is open. Now it's closed. So maybe every time I close a door, I'm building a room. So, of course, Allah would say that's ridiculous. The door is meant to be open and closed. That's the way the room is constructed. I'm not building the room when I close the door. I'm simply using it the way it was created initially. That's how all rooms work. There are doors that open and close. I don't build the room or complete the room when I close the door. That's not building. That's not bona. So some people said the same. So maybe electricity should be viewed the same way. That when I close a circuit, it's like closing a door. An electrical circuit is built to be open and closed so that people can turn things on or off. So maybe that's the same thing here. Maybe that's what's going on. So maybe there should be no malacha. Electricity should not be usher at all. Turning a switch on or off should not be usher at all because it's meant to be open and closed. Maybe it's just like opening and closing a door. And the Chazon Ish did not like that because he felt that when I open or close the door, I'm not changing anything. I'm not building anything. I'm simply opening. That's how it's meant to be used. But the room is usable in both states. Okay, if the room is open, it's still a room. If the door is open, it's still a room. If the door is closed, it's still a room. It's always a room. But with electricity, if I close the circuit, if I turn off the switch, now I have nothing, right? I don't have nothing is happening. When I close the circuit, now electrons are flowing through. Now I have something. So he says that it's not like opening and closing a door, because opening and closing a door, I have a room either way. It's just that's part of the usage of the room. But he thinks that when you close a circuit or open a circuit, now you're creating something that didn't exist because now it's usable or not usable. Therefore, we felt that it is definitely asur d'oraita, the malach of bona, to open and turn on and off a switch and to open and close a circuit. All right, we'll stop here. Tomorrow we'll get into the other opinion of Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, who had a very different perspective on electricity, and it matters very, very much. It's a very, very big halachic discussion. There's a lot of ramifications even today. And on the bottom, of course, please subscribe below or above or whatever the subscribe button is. And in the comment section, so I know that you listened, write your favorite color marker for the whiteboard. If it were up to you, what color marker would be used for the whiteboard for the rest of the year? Have a great day, everyone, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.